The Raison ruled the stars with iron claws. For thousands of years, they hunted and devoured what they called lesser species. No force had ever challenged their dominance of the Orion arm. Their massive ships, with hulls like polished obsidian, struck fear across the galaxy. Supreme Huntmaster Tak stood on the command bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Hunt. His scaled skin gleamed under the blue lights of the tactical displays. 6 fingers tapped against the railing as he watched the operation unfold below. The harvesting of the CT system is complete, Supreme Huntmaster reported his second-in-command, Dory. The younger Raison bowed, his neck frills flattening in deference. 3 habitable worlds processed. Biomass storage at 87% capacity. Tak merely nodded. These harvests had become routine, almost boring. When had he last felt the thrill of a true hunt? The excitement of worthy prey? Years, perhaps decades ago. "Shall we set course for the homeworld?" Dory asked. Tak's 4 eyes narrowed. No. There must be something more challenging in this sector. As if responding to his desire, Navigator Woon called from her station. "Supreme Huntmaster, long-range scanners have detected unusual energy patterns from an uncharted system." Her claws tapped rapidly across her console. "Coordinates 34 to 6792. "Show me," Tak ordered, suddenly alert. The main view screen shifted to display a small yellow star with 8 planets orbiting it. The 3rd planet from the star pulsed with blue energy signatures unlike anything in their database. "Magnify," Tak commanded. The image zoomed in on the blue-green world. Artificial satellites circled it, and small spacecraft moved between the planet and its moon. "Life signs?" Tak asked. "Billions," Woon confirmed, "and they appear to be technologically advanced, though not spacefaring beyond their own system." Dory stepped forward. "Supreme Huntmaster, the Council protocols would suggest we initiate first contact procedures. Study them before determining if they qualify as food or potential servants." Tak hissed softly, his teeth gleaming. "The Council grows soft. The Raison do not negotiate with food." He walked to the central command platform, activating the ship-wide communication system. "All battle groups, prepare for a hunt. We have found new prey." Officers hurried to comply, excitement spreading through the ship. It had been many cycles since they had encountered a new species worth the effort of a formal hunt rather than a simple harvest. "Compile all data on this system," Tak ordered. "I want to know everything before we strike." Hours later, in his private quarters, Tak reviewed the findings. The inhabitants of the 3rd planet called themselves humans. They had only recently developed rudimentary space technology. Their weapons were primitive, nuclear warheads and chemical propellants. Their bodies were soft, without natural armor or claws. "Too easy," Tak muttered, disappointment settling in his chest. Then he noticed something curious in the cultural data. These humans had an extensive history of warfare. Against themselves. They had survived repeated attempts at self-destruction. Their tactical simulations showed remarkable adaptability. Perhaps there was sport to be had after all. The next day, Tak addressed the gathered hunt captains in the flagship's war chamber. "We will take this system in 3 phases," he explained, gesturing to the holographic display. "First, we eliminate their orbital defenses. Then we establish harvesting stations on their moon. Finally, we descend to feast." Hunt Captain Mook raised a claw. "Will we follow containment protocols?" "These humans seem numerous." "Unnecessary," Tak replied. "Their weapons cannot penetrate our shields. This will be a standard hunt, not a war." As the captains dispersed to their ships, Dory approached Tak privately. "I've studied their communications. These humans have stories about beings from the stars. They call them aliens. They've imagined being invaded before." Tak laughed, a harsh sound like stone grinding. "Imagination will not save them from reality." The Raison fleet accelerated toward the solar system. 20 massive ships moving in perfect formation. Tak watched the tactical display, already planning how he would mount the first human skull in his trophy room. "Supreme Huntmaster," Woon called out, "a small vessel has launched from the third planet. It appears to be approaching our position." "A greeting?" Dory suggested. "A target," Tak corrected. "Destroy it." A pulse of energy shot from the flagship, vaporizing the human vessel instantly. Tak felt nothing. No satisfaction, no thrill. Just another day of Raison dominance. He didn't know then that he had just made the greatest mistake in Raison history. The predators of the stars were about to meet their match. Captain J of the Earth Defense Force stared at the main screen of the command center. Red warning lights flashed across the room. The atmosphere was tense as officers rushed between stations. Multiple objects approaching from the outer system. Lieutenant Hand reported. His fingers moved quickly over his console. "They're massive, Captain. Nothing like we've ever seen before." Jay pushed her short black hair back from her face. "How long until they reach Earth orbit?" "At current speed, 12 hours, Han answered. "They're moving faster than anything we've built." The room fell silent as everyone processed this information. Humanity had prepared for this moment for generations. They had movies, books, and plans for first contact with alien life. But now that it was happening, fear mixed with excitement. "Follow first contact protocol," Jay ordered. "Launch the diplomatic vessel with the greeting package. Alert all Earth defense stations to move to standby status. Quietly. We don't want to appear hostile." The small diplomatic shuttle launched from Earth's orbit. It carried no weapons, only communication equipment and mathematical greeting sequences designed by Earth's brightest minds. The ship broadcast peace messages on all frequencies as it moved toward the incoming fleet. Aboard the Raison flagship, Supreme Huntmaster Tak watched the approaching human vessel with cold interest. "They send a single small ship," he noted, "either very brave or very foolish. They are broadcasting some kind of mathematical sequence," Navigator Woon reported. "It appears to be a greeting." Tak's mandibles clicked in amusement. How considerate of them to introduce themselves before becoming our meal. "Destroy their vessel." A beam of energy lanced out from the Raison ship, instantly vaporizing the human diplomatic craft. Tak expected nothing more than routine procedures to follow. The Raison had performed this same ritual of destruction with dozens of species before. Back on Earth, the command center erupted in chaos as sensors registered the loss of the diplomatic vessel. "They destroyed our ship without warning," Han said, his voice shaking with anger and disbelief. Captain Jay's expression hardened. She pressed the emergency broadcast button. "All Earth defense stations, this is Captain Ja. We are at Defense Condition 1. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." Across Earth, hidden military bases activated. Soldiers rushed to their stations. Orbital defense platforms powered up weapon systems that had been disguised as weather satellites and research stations. "They'll expect us to be helpless," Jay told her officers. "That will be our only advantage." 6 hours later, the Raison attack force entered Earth orbit. They deployed in a standard hunting formation they had used successfully for centuries. "Primitive defenses," Hunt Captain Mook reported to Tak. "Some orbital platforms with basic weapons, nothing that can penetrate our shields." "Begin the standard approach," Tak ordered. "Destroy their defenses first." The Raison ships moved forward confidently, energy weapons charging. What they didn't expect was for Earth's orbital platforms to suddenly change position, revealing hidden thrusters. The platforms formed new configurations that confused Raison targeting systems. "What are they doing?" Dory asked, watching the unexpected movements. The answer came in the form of coordinated fire from multiple platforms. While each individual human weapon was indeed too weak to penetrate Raison shields, the combined and precisely timed barrage created resonance points in the shield harmonics. Alarms blared on 3 Raison vessels as their shields flickered. "Impossible," Tak growled. "How could they know about shield resonance?" Before the Raison could adjust, Earth launched hundreds of small fighters from hidden bases on the moon. The tiny craft swarmed around the larger Rizon ships, targeting engines and sensor arrays. On the eternal hunt, Tak watched with growing confusion as his perfect hunting formation broke apart under the unexpected resistance. Two support ships have lost engine power, Dory reported, his voice tight with shock. Hunt Captain Mook's vessel has suffered damage to its main weapons array. For the first time in his long career, Tak felt uncertainty. These humans didn't fight like prey. They fought like hunters who had been preparing for this moment. Withdraw to safe distance, Tak ordered. We need to reassess. As the Rizon fleet pulled back beyond the moon's orbit, Tak studied the tactical data with growing fascination. The humans had been outmatched in every way: technology, firepower, numbers. Yet through coordination and clever tactics, they had forced the mighty Rizon to retreat. These creatures, he said quietly, they're different. In Earth's command center, Captain J allowed herself a small smile. They're pulling back, she announced. Cheers erupted around her, but J raised her hand for silence. This isn't a victory. It's just the beginning. They'll be back, and next time they'll be ready for our tricks. What do we do now? Han asked. Now, J said, her eyes fixed on the retreating alien ships, we wake the sleepers. The United Earth Council gathered in the underground chamber beneath the old city of Seoul. 50 leaders from around the world sat at the circular table, their faces grave. Massive screens lined the walls, showing the Rizon fleet regrouping beyond the moon. Admiral Sun stood at the center of the room. His uniform was crisp despite the crisis, his posture straight despite 3 days without sleep. The aliens have withdrawn temporarily, he said, but our tracking systems show they are not leaving. They're calling for reinforcements. Counselor Kang, representing East Asia, leaned forward. How much time do we have? 3 days, perhaps 4. Admiral Sun pointed to the tactical display. We successfully surprised them, but we used most of our orbital defenses to do it. We cannot win a second battle with what the public knows we have. The room grew quiet. The word public hung in the air. It's time, said Counselor Park, the oldest member of the council. We must open the sleeper protocol. 20 years earlier, an expedition to Mars had discovered ruins, evidence of an ancient alien presence in the solar system. The world governments had kept this discovery secret. They had used the technology found there to prepare defenses against possible future contact. Admiral Sun nodded and pressed his palm against a scanner. Computer, authorize sleeper protocol. Authorization Sun Alpha 79. The main screen changed to show a map of Earth with dozens of blinking red dots. These are the sleeper facilities, Sun explained. Hidden in plain sight. Research centers, military bases, even under civilian areas. Now we activate what we've been building for 2 decades. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, massive doors opened on the seafloor. A submarine base that officially didn't exist powered up its systems. Inside, 5,000 soldiers woke from suspended animation. The 1st Sleeper Division. In the Amazon rainforest, a research facility transformed as walls slid away to reveal an advanced spacecraft manufacturing plant. Engineers who had lived double lives for years now openly began final assembly on vessels far beyond public technology. Beneath the Antarctic ice, reactor cores hummed to life, powering weapon systems designed using principles reverse-engineered from the Mars ruins. Back in the council chamber, Dr. Jin entered. She carried a small metal case. The enhancement serums are ready, she reported. All military command staff will receive the first doses. Admiral Sun rolled up his sleeve. Dr. Jin injected him with a glowing blue liquid. This will increase your neural processing speed, she explained. You'll be able to think and react faster than any normal human. Side effects include reduced sleep requirements and increased aggression. Sun felt the change immediately. His thoughts became sharper, clearer. The room seemed to slow down around him. Now, he said, his voice steady, prepare the Harbinger squadrons for launch. In hangars around the world, Pilots received their injections. Then they climbed into aircraft unlike anything seen in public, sleek black vessels that could operate in both atmosphere and space. Lieutenant Ba felt her enhanced mind connecting with her fighter systems as she sat in the cockpit. The neural interface responded to her thoughts, not just her physical controls. Harbinger Squadron, report status, she called. 20 voices responded, her pilots all enhanced, all connected to their machines. We are go for launch, Ba confirmed. Opening hangar doors. The mountain face split open, revealing the hidden base. 20 black fighters rose silently into the night sky, their propulsion systems leaving no visible trail. Meanwhile, Captain J coordinated from the command center. Enhanced officers worked at triple speed, preparing Earth's defenses. Manufacturing facilities that had been hiding their true output now openly produced advanced weapons and shields. The Razor will expect what they saw before, J told her team. They won't expect what we've been hiding. In orbit, disguised satellites transformed, revealing their true purpose. They linked together to form energy transmission networks that could power weapons anywhere on Earth or in nearby space. Dr. Jin supervised as the first heavy cruisers rose from their hidden lunar bases. These ships had been built in secret, underground, using technology humans shouldn't have had for another 100 years. Admiral Sun addressed all sleeper forces from the command center. For 20 years, we've prepared for this day. We've hidden our true strength, waiting for a threat that might never come. Now it's here. The Raison thought they found easy prey. Instead, they've awakened humanity's true potential. On his flagship, Supreme Huntmaster Tak watched with growing concern as his sensors detected increasing energy signatures from Earth and its moon. What are they doing? He wondered aloud. The readings made no sense. This primitive species shouldn't have such technology. Little did he know that the real battle was about to begin. The hunters were about to become the hunted. Supreme Huntmaster Tak stared at the tactical display in disbelief. Where there had been only minimal defenses days ago, now his sensors showed dozens of human vessels emerging from Earth's moon and hidden orbital positions. These ships weren't primitive. They moved with precision and purpose. Impossible, he whispered, the translator implant in his neck clicking as he spoke. They were barely space-capable. How did they hide this? The Raison reinforcement fleet had arrived, bringing their total strength to 50 warships. It should have been overwhelming force against any developing world. But something was wrong. Supreme Huntmaster, Navigator Woon called out, her voice tense. The humans are broadcasting on all frequencies. Let me hear it, Tak ordered. A clear voice filled the command bridge. This is Admiral Sun of Earth Defense Force. You came to our home uninvited. You destroyed our peaceful envoy. You intended to consume our people. We gave you one chance to leave. You didn't take it. What happens next is your responsibility. Dory looked at Tak nervously. They speak as if they have a chance against us. Tak clicked his mandibles in irritation. Launch the attack. Standard consumption pattern. The Raison fleet moved forward in formation, their black ships spreading out to surround Earth. They had performed this maneuver hundreds of times on other worlds. The outcome had always been the same. But these humans fought differently. Instead of directly engaging the much larger Raison vessels, the human ships broke into small squadrons. They darted between the Raison formations, disrupting their carefully planned attack patterns. Lieutenant Ba led her Harbinger squadron through a tight gap between two Raison cruisers. Her enhanced reflexes guided her ship at speeds that would have killed an unmodified human pilot. Target their sensor arrays, she commanded her pilots. Make them blind. Admiral Sun stopped 10 paces from the throne. He wore a simple dress uniform without medals or decoration. He carried no visible weapons, though the Raison knew of the enhancements that made his body itself a weapon. Supreme Huntmaster Tak, Sun said, his voice strong and clear. I bring terms from Earth. Tak's mandibles clicked softly. You mean surrender demands? No, Sun replied. surprising everyone in the hall. "I bring terms for peace." Murmurs spread through the gathered raison. They had expected extinction, not negotiation. "You have defeated us," Tak said. "You could destroy our species. Why offer peace?" "Because humans are not raisin," Sun answered simply. "We don't exterminate other sentient beings, no matter what they've done." Captain J stepped forward, carrying a small device. She placed it on the floor, and a holographic display appeared, showing the galaxy with hundreds of points of light. "These are the worlds your people have harvested," Jay explained. "Billions of lives taken as food. By any measure, your species deserves extinction." The hall was silent. No raison could deny the truth. "But there is another way," Sun continued. "A new order for the galaxy." The hologram shifted, showing a new pattern, worlds connected by lines, forming a network rather than a hierarchy. "The Galactic Cooperative," Sun explained. "All species equal, all contributing according to their abilities, all protected by common laws." Tak leaned forward. "And what happens to the raison in this cooperative?" "You join as equals," Sun said. "Your hunting days are over, but your species will live. You will help rebuild the worlds you've damaged. You will share your technology, and you will never again prey on sentient beings." The hall erupted in angry hisses and clicks. One raison noble stood and shouted, "We will never bow to prey." Tak silenced him with a gesture. The Supreme Huntmaster looked tired, older than when Sun had first seen him. The war had changed him. "And if we refuse?" Tak asked quietly. Sun's expression remained neutral. "Then humanity will continue what we started. We have already freed 27 of your subject worlds. We have dismantled 35 harvest stations. We stand ready to complete the task." The threat hung in the air, but every raison knew it was not empty. The humans had proven their capability. After a long moment, Tak rose from the bone throne. For the first time in raison history, a Supreme Huntmaster stepped down from the elevated platform to stand on the same level as another species. "We accept your terms," he said. "The raison will join your cooperative." 3 years later, Tak stood beside Admiral Sun on the observation deck of Earth's diplomatic station. Below them, ships from dozens of species docked at the busy port. Among them were raison vessels, now carrying traders and diplomats instead of hunters. "Your people have adapted well," Sun commented. Tak watched a group of young raison interacting with representatives from a species they once would have considered food. "We had no choice," Tak admitted. "But I have learned that adaptation is its own form of strength. The strongest hunters know when to change their ways." Sun agreed. "I still don't understand," Tak said. "Why didn't you destroy us when you had the chance? Many of the species we hunted wanted revenge." Sun turned to look at the former Supreme Huntmaster. "Because the true test of a predator isn't how well it kills, but whether it knows when not to." Tak considered this. "And now humans are the apex predators of the galaxy." "No," Sun corrected him. "We're its protectors. There's a difference." Below them, the first graduating class of the Cooperative Academy, with students from 20 species including raisin, boarded ships that would explore the galaxy not to hunt, but to learn. In just 3 years, the order of the galaxy had transformed. The age of predator and prey had ended. The age of cooperation had begun.